University of UOG Theatre Department are presenting Fences. It's an American classic written by August Wilson and being performed by a handful of very talented youth right here on the island. And joining me now is the play's director, Mr. James Dela Cruz, and Raycia Charfauros. She is an actress, and you're playing which role?
play Rose Maxon. It's the lead female role.
Okay. Would you prefer if I referred to you as Rose during this interview? Or?
That would be delightful.
Okay. 'Cause, you know, we've interviewed enough people that practice the craft on the show to know that when people get into character, they like to be into character all the way. Jim Carrey's the same way. So.
Yeah, it's really important that we stay in that mindset. So you and like Rose and I become one person rather than I play her. It's I am. So
exactly.
That's really fun.
So on the show, Rose, you shall be. Very,
okay.
very happy. So excellent. Okay, so James, given the story of the play, you're overseeing basically everything as a director. I would not want to be in your shoes, dude. So tell me about basically the premise of the play, and then how has it been putting it together?
Okay, well, pretty much the show is about a low-income family just trying to live life the best way they know how. And the father of the family thinks he knows what's best for everyone. That tends to be what happens in real life. But there's a disconnect with each member of his family. He doesn't know what his wife needs and what his son needs. So that sort of creates problems throughout the show. That's the main issue. Without giving too much away, he's pretty much creates the problem for the show. Now, sort of putting this all together has been a huge learning experience for me because I've never actually directed a full-on show. I've gone from a 10-minute short scene type thing to 2 acts, 9 scenes. This is huge for me, and it's been incredibly frustrating sometimes, and incredibly just inspiring because it's awesome to work with people like Raycia and Paul Sauget, who's our Troy. Mm-hmm. So it's been wonderful. This whole experience has been great.
And it seems like you're all in like the same peer group, which is kind of interesting because typically directors, no offense, are typically like a lot older, and they've been through various iterations of the play. How is it actually directing and being able to manage people the same age, and you see them all over the place? And
well, I mean, I've been friends with most of them for a while, so I sort of know their personalities. Now, one of our actors is actually significantly older than me. He's about 10 years older than me, so he's not. It's been harder to sort of I guess talk to him because it's easy to talk to people who are my age, right? But for him, it's more about getting him to understand his character, and it's less difficult to talk to them because they're friends. It's easier. They understand it more.
Okay, so Rose, from the standpoint of somebody actually as a player in the play, is this a period piece, and where exactly geographically does it take place?
Technically, it could be considered a period piece. It takes place in the 1950s in the inner city of Pittsburgh, I believe, right? All right, so it's really interesting to be in this production because you take, a time and place that's so outside of us. I mean, we live on an island. We're in, the 2000s, and here I am, somebody from the 1950s with different values because I come from a completely different place. Mm-hmm. But what's so great is, James is such a great director, and he's really helped us get in touch with these people inside of us. And as far as Fences go, at the heart of it, I feel like it really is just a story about a marriage and a family. So it's easy for everybody to relate to right at the get-go.
And what kind of research did you have to do in taking on this part? Because if it's in the 50s in Pittsburgh specifically, there's a whole different lingo, and the mindset was completely different back then, which, as you said, is so completely not what we're used to here.
Yeah, it's really not. The very first day of rehearsal, James actually came to us and he's like, "Look, the rhythm of speech is weird, and your pattern is different. Like the way I'm talking now is not how I speak when I speak as Rose. It's so much of the grammar, especially, becomes different, which makes
hey daddy-o, that whole thing.
Oh, well, actually, that's more 70s, but like he gon' be instead of he is going to be. And
okay.
A lot of the rhythm of my speech changes, and that was probably the most difficult part for all of us, was to keep with the accent and to keep with this pattern when it's just so different from how we normally talk. Mm-hmm.
So James, tell me about the cast. I've seen plays that are literally performed by 2 or 3 people, and then you get something like West Side Story, which can utilize as many as 40 or 50 cast members and everything like that. How big of a cast are you working with?
Oh, we've got 7 people. We've got 6 adults and 1 child. She's actually 9 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's a fairly small cast. It's about a family and his friends, so it's very tight knit.
Okay, excellent. So let's go talk about show times and price now, because if people want, if they want to see opening night and then hopefully every night until then, and the closing night is always a real interesting one because you guys go all out for the last one too.
Yeah.
When can people check it out and how much are tickets?
Okay, well, we open next week, Thursday, September 20th. We run from the 20th to 22nd, and then next week, 27th to 29th. Showtime 7 p.m. It's $5 for students, $7.50 for adults, but if you are a UOG or GCC student, it's free.
All right. How about the media?
I don't think we give a media price. I think since you're an adult, $7.50.
Oh man.
Sorry.
Yeah. I guess I'm a little bit old. So is my camera guy Mike. He's pretty old, both of us. Okay. So any final comments on what people should expect from the play?
Just come with an open mind and be ready to laugh. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All
And to cry, because there are moments in there where, very intimate scenes. So that's really fun too.
Well, sounds like a really good time. Best of luck. I know you guys have a little bit of work yet to go. So putting on finishing touches, fine tuning, but we can't wait to see it.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right. Break a leg.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and stay tuned. Please do not break a leg out there in TV land. Leave that to the professionals. But just stay tuned because we will be back right after this.